So that's one tradition or practice that we could point to that religious traditions have espoused. But another big one would be hospitality. And I don't mean just sort of Southern hospitality. I'm from Canada, so I've had to learn about Southern hospitality, which I quite like. But think about how in other cultures, it's simply assumed that when someone shows up at your door, you make your place available for them to stay. Right? What would compel people to think that hospitality is something that's just important in becoming a human being? Well, let me give you one version of this. This will be a Christian version. When theologians tried to figure out why did God even make the world at all? Why do that? The best answer they came up with is that, well, God makes a world because God loves. And the nature of this love is that it's hospitality. Because when God creates the world, what God is doing is making room for what is not God to be. And then God says, it's important to nurture this life that has been made so that it can live into the fullness of its life. So one of the early church's great theologians, John of Damascus, actually said, the work of God creating the world is a work of hospitality. Right? God makes a feast and provides all this food for all the creatures to eat so that they can be healthy and whole. Now, if that's the way you understand the creation of the whole world, it's important for people to try to figure out how they can also learn to be a hospitable presence. Because when you work on the skill of hospitality, what you are actually doing is you are trying to do the very difficult thing of welcoming in a stranger and then saying, I want to make what I have available to you so that you can be nurtured into the fullness of your life. Now think about that. That's astounding. Because it has effects not just when you have a house guest. It has effects for the way you think about your work. It has effects for the way you think about agriculture. Because if you're in a garden, are you thinking, how can I most give my skill, my ability, to nurture a plant so it can reach the fullness of its life? Or an animal if you're a farmer. Right? To be a hospitable presence in the world is no small deal. And it's also very difficult. Because when you decide to welcome somebody else or something else into your life, and you commit to its nurture, you have to figure out, what does it need? That means you have to pay attention. You have to exercise patience. And this is all difficult, especially when the guest is a real pain. Right? None of you have had a guest like that, I'm sure. But right? So hospitality, I think, is another practice that we see in a variety of religious contexts as a way of helping people through something as basic as sharing the table with somebody else actually develop into particular kinds of people.